Mark, the Habs swept the Jets in 4 straight. Where's your broom?
It's back in Winnipeg. I think we sent an express post there at the MTS Arena. Paul Maurice is for sure using it to wipe that path back to his home.
Well, Mark, this was unexpected for a lot of us. You predicted the Habs in 7. I predicted the Habs in 6. What were the difference makers? How did we sweep this series?
Right, they just forechecked. They played great, really. The Scheifele injury obviously was huge, but DeMello too. We kind of underestimate that with all their defensive depth. We mentioned it. There are big pieces that have left. So the Canadiens were able to take advantage. I think all the lines produced. They cycled well, especially that fourth line, a real revelation. But what a sight! Revelation.
Revelation.
Yeah, you're better in English than I am, with the English French. But no, really, really.
Mark, the Jets didn't show up to play. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter which players were missing. They were not there. There was no team concept. There was no team defense. They didn't make anyone's life miserable. Like, this is the playoffs. The Habs got an easy path. Very easy path.
I think you have to give Montreal credit. You heard Blake Wheeler say they really did try, but it obviously wasn't good enough.
Definitely wasn't good enough. I think you do got to give Montreal credit, and I think the keys to success for the series, and I've been talking about this from the beginning, and these were my 3 keys. Was number 1, Carey Price. Played phenomenal. He is the backbone of this team, figuratively and literally. He has single-handedly won the last 3 games against Toronto and this series. I think you can only count that second Stanley goal against him. But other than that,
who would have thought it would be Logan Stanley to score 2 goals on Carey Price? But
yeah, well, at least someone stepped up, because there was no one on Winnipeg doing anything. So credit to him. But I mean, even
I find that tough too. They got literally 12 shots on net the entire game. To be a goalie and cold, it's tougher. And there was a good chance in the third period. Like, Winnipeg had a couple, which is shocking, when you're desperate like that, or at least should be. They really didn't give much. And the fact that Carey was able to stay composed and make those big saves, there was 1 and 3 in a row. That shows that he's super focused and really playing at his top level.
Yeah, and he stays involved in the game even when you're not registering shots, right? Like, when the puck is dumped, he's out there, he's stopping, he's slowing the play down, getting into his defenseman, making the right passes, making the right reads. I mean, he's involved. He's playing the best hockey I've seen since their last conference final run, and where they lost to 6 against the Rangers, and that's primarily because Price got injured. But so Carey Price has been phenomenal. I think the second thing that's obvious to note to me is special teams. I mean, if you look at it, we scored on the power play. Like, when has that happened? We were 3 for 13 in this series. That's 23%. Our penalty kill was perfect. Winnipeg was 0 for 8 in the entire series, so we were 100% efficient. Not to mention that we scored 3 shorthanded goals. So when you do that and your special teams is kicking at that gear, and credit to Ducharme for putting in Gustafsson. I mean, you can see how well he moves the puck at the top of the blue line. He also scored a power play goal. So that was amazing.
Credit to Cole Caulfield too, who he made some key assists on the power play against Toronto, Winnipeg, and just to add that creativity really has been key, not just on the power play, but in general with Suzuki and Toffoli.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And then I think the third thing is the youth. I mean, like you mentioned, Cole Caulfield, 4 points. Kakanyemi, 4 points in the playoffs. Suzuki, 8 points in the playoffs. And then the star, who we never thought would be this valuable of a player, and Marc Bergevin got him in a bargain contract, Tyler Toffoli, 10 points, leading the team. And winning the game yesterday from that incredible Cole Caulfield pass.
You mentioned youth there. Romanov played his first game.
Yes, he did. And he got 1 hit. 1 hit. He registered 1 hit in under 10 minutes of ice time. and everything else was perfect. Very quiet game. He did what he
He
had to
did
do.
well. You really can't complain. He did what he had to do, and yeah, hopefully we'll see him again. But yeah, for sure, the youth has really been there. How great is it that we have two young, great centers under 22 that are producing? The last time this happened was when the Penguins won their first cup with Crosby and Malkin. They produced a similar amount of points at that age. So I think it's really exciting for the fan base.
Yeah, it's about time. Let's say. I mean, we've been waiting for centers to arrive in Montreal for such a long time. So it's great to see. And then I think the last point.
Seeing Marc Bergevin after they won, celebrating, wearing that red suit, and then going down to the rink, and you gotta love
High
football.
fiving. He looked ridiculous in that red suit, but I think it's his lucky charm.
Hey, they're
And
wearing red too, so we can't complain. But
yeah, but it's not a suit, so that's the
hugging
difference.
Cole Caulfield and just seeing that sheer excitement and joy. That was a great sight. None of us believed in him. Some of us more than others, or more consistently than others. I know I was on his ass after Game 4 and many times throughout the career, but he took a chance when other teams maybe would have done things differently, and could have gone a different direction too. Right? It's sports. You never know what will happen. Leafs could have easily scored in overtime. Scheifele didn't get hurt. Maybe the series would still be going, but these things happen, and he's getting the results. So good for him. And
It's come together at the right time, and I think that everything that you just mentioned is accurate. I think the fact that the team itself is all working in one motion. I mean, look at it. They've been leading for 7 straight games. They haven't been trailing. That's 437 minutes and 53 seconds. That's the second best record in the history of the NHL, only trailing to their former teammates when the Habs were leading for just 100 over 440 minutes. So incredible little run that they've done the last seven or 8 games. But we got either a big opponent coming up very soon. That's Colorado or
We
Vegas.
got to just enjoy it right now. We saw the excitement on the streets of Montreal. I mean, it's been a tough past year and a half, and the fans deserve this. The city deserves this. To see that joy on the streets, really a great sight, including at the Bell Center. So, of course, you don't want to see, flipping cop cars over, but it was really cool.
So, Mark, did you participate in any of these riots and looting last night?
I didn't, unfortunately. It was more in.
Where did you get that hat from then?
Yeah, it's an old hat. But did have a nice memory when the Raptors won. I did raise a cone over my head, so that was. I was in Toronto at the time. That was a great memory, and hopefully we'll continue and just got to enjoy it. And on to the next. This team.
What are they naming this little area right in front of the Madison Grill? I think they're trying to replicate like a Jurassic Park where they're showing all the fans outside. What are they calling it?
Yeah, they're let's call it Victory Center. Let's call it.
I think it's called the Lay Fun Guys Podcast Square.
Let's rename it. Let's rename it. We should do a podcast there when things are really opened up. But
well, I'm probably gonna have to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah,
I don't think I get special exemption like the next team that's coming in Montreal, either Colorado or Vegas.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's great to celebrate, but it's only the Final Four. It's only going to be the semis. I think this team, they know they could still go further. It's going to be a challenge, though. We don't know Vegas, Colorado. It's Game 5 tonight. I think Colorado doesn't win tonight. They're screwed. They really are. They're at home. They have to take this, because if Vegas wins this Game 6, you see how the crowd is in Vegas.
It's crazy. It's crazy the momentum swings that can occur in a playoff series, and you're seeing what momentum can do for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. In this series, is probably one of the most fun to watch that I've seen. They're both teams are high flying, high powered offense, can play a team game, and are having really good success across all aspects of the three zones. So if you're gonna watch a series, I would stay tuned for this, and it'll give you a preview of who we're gonna face. But either of the two teams,
But who
gonna
would you
face.
rather face, Samir? That's the question.
I honestly, for personal reasons, I'd rather face Vegas so I can go and watch a game in person, since it's only a 3.5 hour drive. So I'm going for Vegas.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. Originally, I'd say the consensus would be Colorado, though, because you look at it this way: they have one line, right? Obviously, it's the best line in the NHL, but you have Deneau. He'll stop them, right? He's a showstopper.
I don't know about
He'll be
this.
having just a piece of pizza if he's able to stop that line, though. He should have a whole one in his press conference.
I think you're discrediting the fact that Colorado is deep on all four lines, and Kadri's coming back. They really missed that guy.
I am, but I think Kadri slowed down. Looked at the stats. He's not the same guy, but he is a playoff guy. You have to agree with that. He's a physical guy. He just can't stay out of trouble. He may cost Colorado. So, but yeah, he certainly.
Yeah, but he plays on an edge. He dominates the faceoff circle. So that line is going to be your equivalent to shut down, for their shutdown line. Then you have ridiculous offense in Landeskog, Rantanen, and McKinnon. Like, that type of speed is really tough to slow down. And then they got their back end. I think their only weakness, and I would say weakness in quotations, is their goaltending, right? Grubauer is not maybe fully tested, battle tested. Where Mark
is a good goalie, but Fleury's been phenomenal this year. When you look at the D, Makar, Taves,
Samuel Girard.
Girard, of course. But then Vegas has
Pietrangelo.
McNabb, Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, who's like Vezina candidate, very strong. Alec Martinez also, big producer, blocks a lot of shots. I mean, at the end of the day, I think from a Montreal perspective, you want that series going 7. You want to go in quintuple overtime every game, and you want them just to beat each other up, and just that will give them a bigger edge in whoever they face, because it'll be their toughest.
The best part about this playoff run is we know anything can happen, right? And we've seen that in the first 2 rounds. No one believed in the Habs, including myself.
Anything
the Leafs would take it. Tavares goes down. Then you go into the second round. Winnipeg sweeps Edmonton. We thought Edmonton would destroy the North. I think you called that out. You said he would take over the North. He didn't do anything. They sweep them in 4 games, and then they play us with a big break. Their legs aren't behind them. They're getting frustrated by Montreal's team play, and Scheifele takes a dumb makes a dumb play for a bad hit, dirty hit, and gets suspended 4 games, and that team is in shambles. So anything can happen. I'm not saying that the Habs don't have a chance, but either of the teams, I think, are really tough, and it doesn't matter who you face, because both are equally potent, and they've led the league the whole season. They had like 30 plus points over the Habs, and they had, I think, something like, if I was reading earlier today, they have like almost 48 goals more they've scored. Like, that's ridiculous.
I don't know. It just pissed me off to see Paul Maurice. He doesn't even shake hands with the players. He just walked off the ice. I thought that was real cheap. So good for them on getting swept off the rink there. But yeah, like either way, like these playoffs, a lot of other games going on. It's just going to get more and more physical, including if Montreal could somehow get to the finals. We see
they need Petrie back. Sorry? Montreal needs Petrie back ASAP. Without him,
back. We don't know if it'll be Saturday or Monday. If the series goes 7, it'll be Monday night. While as if it's 6, it'll probably be Saturday night in Vegas or Colorado. But yeah, we're gonna need Petrie back 100%. And but then, like, looking at the other series, Islanders Boston, that's a physical series too, and it's a taste for what the Habs are gonna get. You want that series to go down to the wire also, but look at the Islanders. They were down 25 shots, and they were still able to take the game, and Rask got pulled.
Boston's bottom 6 is awful. They're nowhere to be seen. Their top two lines are flying high and creating incredible number of chances. And the goalie Sorokin is playing lights out. And
It was
Boston's just
actually Varlamov and Nets last night, and but yeah,
yeah,
it's
sorry, Varlamov. And I think Mark, like I was watching that game. I thought Boston was going to take it.
I mean, they have star power. We saw Marchand's Deke, amazing goal. But Islanders are just a gritty team, and they got a few calls that maybe went their way. And Bruce Cassidy even called the Islanders the New York Saints. So it's a bit of typical Bruins commentary where they're looking for calls from the ref, but they're all obviously he knows what he's doing. He got a fine today. He wants the calls in his favor because he knows he's going to need them game 6 heading into Long Island, and that's a tough place to play. But the Bruins are certainly capable of doing it. That could easily go 7.
Are your Hurricanes coming back?
Hey, look, tonight they have to take care of business. They're at home. But I mean, it's tough in Tampa to win 3 in a row against that team. It's not looking good for them. If there's anyone that could do it, it's the Canes. They have the star power. It's just they're playing the Lightning. Rod Brindamore could really get the troops going. I think it's just a mentality of one game at a time. Habs are down 3-1. They focus one game at a time. And I think that's the Canes, what they have to do. I think they have to go with a young kid in nets, forget Mrazek, and just play desperate hockey. If they play desperate hockey, they have a chance because they have the talent.
Well, I think we got to do a full preview as soon as we know the victors of Colorado Vegas, and do a full Final Four preview for everyone. So we'll be back on. It's the Late Fun Guys podcast. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube and across your favorite Google and Spotify or Anchor podcast channels. So we're there. We want to hear from you. Send us your feedback, and we'll try and make this podcast even better. But go Habs, go.
Kings of the North.
Yeah. Kings of the North.